David, we give him praise, we give him thanks for all the wonderful things that the Lord has done. Continue to be wonderful and blessed to be in a day that God has given us on this day. And we thank you for joining us here at Friendship United Methodist Church, where God is still doing wonderful things. Even in the midst of what we're going through, we still have something to give God the praise for, because God has been able to see us through all these wonderful things. And so with that in mind, continue to give God the praise, continue to realize God is good. He's good all the time, even in this day and time. I ask that you join us on this day, the Gospel of John, chapter 6, verses 67 through 69. Listen for the word of the Lord. So Jesus asked the 12, "Do you also wish to go away?" Simon Peter answered him, "Lord, to whom can we go? You have the words of eternal life. We have come to believe and know that you are the Holy One of God." This is the word of God for the people of God. I'd like to use for a title here on this day, "I am going with the Lord all the way." We need to note that Jesus has addressed a serious question to his 12 disciples. Peter has responded with an answer. Peter responds to Jesus' question with a question. Jesus asked Peter, "Do you also wish to go away?" Peter answered him, "Lord, to whom can we go?" In other words, Peter was saying, if we leave you, where will we go? Peter and the other disciples decided that they were going with the Lord all the way. This should be our determination while on this journey. I am going with the Lord, not part of the way, but all the way. There are so many things that can affect us on this journey that can cause us to give up, quit, or stop. The Christian race is not easy, and at times can be hard to run. On this journey, the best of us can enter a season of trouble. At times, it should make you wonder what keeps some people hanging on while others just give up on the journey. Some, we know, have been lied on. Some have been mistreated, forsaken. They go through trials, sickness, and pain. Yet they are determined to go with the Lord all the way. Problems will not end when you become a follower of Jesus. Satan tends to deal with those who have established a relationship with the Lord. Satan has ways to come at you. Sometimes Satan will attack you through your job. Satan can attack you through your friends. Satan can even attack you through your family. No matter how Satan tries to attack you, be faithful to go with the Lord all the way. The hymnologist said, on this journey, the road gets rough and the going gets tough, and the hills become hard to climb. I started out a long time ago. There is no doubt in my mind. I've decided to make Jesus my choice. Have you made Jesus your choice? Many start out on the journey on fire for the Lord, but along the journey, some stop and get sidetracked. Some talk a good game, yet their action and their talk reveal something totally different. We need more people not acting but serious about going to heaven. Church has been a place where the modern day Christian talk a good game rather than setting an example. We need more people to live out the song, I will trust in the Lord until I die. Yes, there was a concern that Jesus had concerning his disciples. He asked the 12, do you also wish to go away? We need to know why Jesus asked this question. One should not take the followers of Christ for granted. Something had occurred that affected the situation. Jesus had experienced a falling away. Some who had once walked with him had departed from him. At the time of our text, there are some who are rejecting Jesus. The crowd had gotten few in number. If people stop walking with Jesus, do not get upset when people turn away from you. If people walked away from the Savior, the Prince of Peace, the giver of joy, the hope for tomorrow, you should not get disturbed when people reject you or walk away from you. The Bible does not say. The Bible here lets us know, lo, people will be with you always. The Bible does not say that the people will never leave you and never forsake you, but I'm glad Jesus will keep his promise that Jesus will be with us always. Let me tell you why people walk away from Jesus. Some had a false concept of Jesus. They thought that Jesus would come as a military-style leader. Some believed that Jesus would help them get revenge on the Romans. When Jesus told them to love your enemies and bless them that curse you and love them that hate you, they became disenchanted with Jesus. They walked away from Jesus. Some get salvation but fail to be made whole. The 12 had been with Jesus longer than any other. They turned to them and said, do you also wish to go away? Here, listen as Jesus turned to them and said, do you also wish to go away? In essence, Jesus was saying, many have departed from me. Are you going to leave me? Today, Jesus is still asking, are you going to leave me? Who amongst us are willing to stay with the Lord? Peter is known to speak out, saying to Jesus, Lord, to whom can we go? Peter was saying, Lord, if we leave you, where can we go? Peter understood that Jesus was good to them. Is there anyone in here who knows that the Lord is still good? Is there anyone now, even in the midst of the situation, cannot say that the Lord still has not been good to us? Even while we're going through this pandemic, we should still realize that God is still good. Even when we stop and think about it, if He woke us up early this morning and started us out on our way, somebody ought to stop and realize that God is still good. In life, some babies have been given a pacifier to calm them, yet there will come a time when a baby would get tired of being pacified and move to the level of being satisfied. Peter looked over the option, but none could truly satisfy them. No one can come to Jesus unless God draws and stirs him or her to come. No one belongs to God who has not come to Him. All are lost unless they come to Jesus, many feel that they are good enough and have not done enough to be accepted by God. Yet some will not come tell the truth about being separated by God and from God. Consequently, following Christ will be costly. It involves the cross and the denial of oneself. Peter said, "You have the words of eternal life. We have come to believe and know that you are the Holy One of God." Peter proclaimed that he and the disciples both believed and knew something. Jesus was the Son of the living God. If you had your prayers answered, doors that once was closed are now open, and he has healed your body, made a way out of no way for you, brought you through crisis, dried your tears, gave you joy, fixed your problems. If the Lord has helped you, you should be willing to go with the Lord all the way. Your mind should be made up. The closer you get to Jesus, the better you should feel. You have to look over your life and see what the Lord has done for you. And when you have examined what the Lord has done for you, you ought to be able to say, "I'm going with the Lord, not part of the way, but I'm going with the Lord all the way." That should be the aim of all of God's children. When you look back across your life and see what the Lord has done, the aim should be, "I'm going with him all the way." That's our aim. That's our mission, is to go with him all the way. I submit to you on this day that the Lord is still good, and we ought to go with him all the way. Will you pray with me? Eternal and everlasting Father, Lord, we give you thanks for all you have done and all that you are continuously doing in our lives. For those who are with us still in this season, Lord, continue to pour out your blessings upon us. Help us to realize the blood will never lose its power. For we realize you have been so good to us. We ought to realize, those of us who have been on this journey, if we just hold on to your unchanging hand, this too shall pass. Many of us are living testimonies that we can tell the story about how we know what you can bring us through. And so, Lord, we pledge and we understand that you will never leave us nor forsake us. Continue to walk with us, continue to hold us, continue to shape us, continue to remind us that in due season, if we do not fail, you will continue to show us all the wonderful things that you have in store for us. For it is in the mighty name of Jesus Christ we pray, and we give you the honor and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Again, we thank you for joining us here on this day. May God continue to enrich your lives. May God continue to give you the glory. May God continue to give you what you stand in need of. May you continue to lift him up. May you continue to realize with all you do, continue to give him the praise and the glory. Continue to allow the seeds of the ministry at Friendship United Methodist Church to sow within you. Continue to pray for each and one another. Continue to allow this ministry to bless you this day. God bless you. We also give thanks to our praise team and our music ministry here at Friendship for blessing us on this day. May God continue to enrich all of you and forever and ever. Thank you so much.
I was a wretched done, living in a world of sin, with no hope, no peace within. Somebody